Have you been posting consistently on YouTube, but you keep getting the same 12 to 29 views, zero new subscribers, and zero new leads for your business? The problem isn't your script or video topic, it's your video packaging. According to YouTube themselves, your title and thumbnail are the biggest factors in whether someone clicks your video. So to grow on YouTube, the answer is clear: fix your packaging. And today I'm going to show you why it's the most important thing for growing your business organically, how to actually get people to click, and a simple checklist for always making sure you have banger packaging on all your videos. But first, let's explain something 90% of business owners miss.
Okay, let's address the first thing. What is video packaging? Think about ordering pizza. You call in, you say, I want a large pizza. It arrives, but there are no toppings, no cheese, no sauce, just plain dough. Would you eat it? No, right? So now here's the thing. A lot of YouTubers do this exact same thing with their videos. They write a solid title, they hit upload, and they wonder why no one clicks. The title is the dough, it matters, but the thumbnail is the toppings, the cheese, the sauce, the pepperoni. That is what makes people say, yes, I want that. Together, the title and the thumbnail, that is video packaging. So basically, your title only is like just serving the dough. No one likes pizza because of the dough. They like it because of the toppings, everything that's on top of the pizza. And so this is what you have to optimize for: the title and the thumbnail, not just the title. So video packaging is the combination of your title and your thumbnail. It is the first thing someone sees when they scroll YouTube. It is your video's storefront. People do not watch your video first and then decide to click. They judge your packaging first, then they decide. Bad packaging equals no views. So let's look at the real life example. So this is the same video, totally different packaging. So the first is weight loss tips for beginners, and the thumbnail is weight loss for beginners. But this is boring. There's no emotion. It's so easy to scroll past. And now let's look at version B. The same title, right? Weight loss tips for beginners, and then the the thumbnail shows a woman that was 160 pounds and now she's 150 pounds. She lost 10 pounds. And so this grabs attention. So immediately you're like, how did she lose 10 pounds? That curiosity loop has already started and they need to close that loop. So the probability that they will click this video is so much higher than this video because of the thumbnail. It shows the transformation. It makes you want to click because you're like, why? How did she lose the 10 pounds? So if you do something like this and you just put weight loss tips for beginners, there's no curiosity. It's like, okay. There's no emotion. There's nothing that gets them to want to click to video. You don't open the curiosity loop. Or with this, you open the curiosity loop. And to close it, they have to click on the video. So version B is always going to win. So your content might be gold, but if the packaging is weak, no one will ever find out. Because even though people say, don't judge a book by its cover, the truth is, we always judge a book by its cover. And people do not give bad-looking books a chance. They are scrolling fast. So people are deciding in half a second. So if your packaging is not just decoration, the thumbnail is not just decoration, it is the job application that decides whether you even get the interview. So think about it like that. If you want to get a job, you usually have to write an application. And based on that application, they decide whether they are even going to listen to you. So always realize that your title and the thumbnail, that's your application. The two of them together, that's the application. And when you submit it, that's when they decide whether, let's call him in, let's talk to him or her. So you always have to remember that the thumbnail does 80% of the heavy lifting. So a lot of the things have to be done on the thumbnail. So now you know what video packaging is, but why should you spend most of your energy on it? That brings us to a simple law that explains everything. And that law is Pareto's principle. So imagine you run a fruit store. You have 10 types of fruit, but 8 out of every 10 customers only buy 2 things: mangoes and bananas. So you spend every money. You could spend your morning arranging all 10 fruits perfectly, or you could spend it making sure the mangoes and bananas look amazing. Which one grows your sales? The second, obviously, because if you keep rearranging every fruit, it's redundant. It's like, these 2 fruits bring in sales, so you should focus on that. So that is Pareto's principle in real life. The small effort that leads to the 20% of the small efforts that leads to 80% of the big results. So the Pareto principle says this: 20% of your actions create 80% of your results. It is also called the 80-20 rule. An Italian economist named Vilfredo Pareto discovered it in 1896. He noticed that 20% of the peapods in his garden gave 80% of the peas. Then he looks around, same patterns everywhere. 20% of the country's people owned 80% of the land. 20% of a company's clients brought in 80% of the money. The rule shows up in almost every area of life, including YouTube. So, but most creators flip this upside down. They spend 95% of their time filming and editing and scripting. Then they spend 5 minutes slapping together a thumbnail, and they are shocked when the video flops. The 80-20 tool does not care about your feelings. It doesn't care It just shows you where the leverage is. And on YouTube, the leverage is in the packaging. I'm telling you, you can have the best YouTube script in the world. You film it, it's edited perfectly. If your thumbnail is shit, no one is clicking on your video.
Real quick, if you're a coach or consultant already doing $5,000 to $20,000 a month and you want to scale your personal brand on YouTube so you can have clout in your niche and attract qualified inbound leads that are ready to buy or become clients, then this program is perfect for you. At New Horizon Labs, our goal is to help business owners like you get views and sales from YouTube without becoming full-time content creators yourselves. We'll help you book 12 plus calls a month straight from YouTube in 12 weeks using our done-for-you YouTube highway system, or you don't pay. If that sounds great, then click the first link in the description to book a call. Okay, back to the video.
That's how important the packaging is. So the 80-20 rule tells us to focus on what matters most. So the most important insight of Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule, is you have to focus on the 20%, or that 20% that leads to 80% of the results you want. So that's the packaging. Because if the packaging is not good, no one is even going to click on the video in the first place. We need to get them to click the video. So, but now let us get specific. What exactly is package? Why exactly is packaging the 20% that does all the heavy lifting? Take me to my next point. Why packaging is your 20%. So think about the last time you were scrolling through your phone. Maybe it was late at night. Maybe you were just killing time, post after post, video after video, scroll, scroll, scroll. And then suddenly you stop. Something caught your eye. You did not plan to stop, you just did. That is the power of great packaging. So your YouTube feed works the exact same way. Hundreds of thumbnails, hundreds of titles, all competing for one thumb to stop scrolling. The video with weak packaging, they get scrolled past without a second thought. The videos with strong packaging, they make the thumb stop every time. So that split-second decision is the difference between getting 10 views and 10,000 views on a video. So here's how packaging drives every result you want. More views. Strong packaging gets the clicks. No clicks means no views. Simple. More leads. When the right people click, they already trust you a little, so they watch longer. More boot calls. A well-packaged video attracts your ideal client. They feel the video is made for them. More sales. People buy from creators they trust. And trust starts with a click. Packaging starts the whole chain. More subscribers. When someone clicks a video they love, they check your channel. Great packaging keeps them around. So basically, by just improving your packaging, you drive views, leads, books, calls, sales, and subscribers. So the most important, and it's just 20%. There's 80% of things you need to do. There's scripting, there's filming, there's recording, there's SEO. But the 20%, the packaging, the title, and the thumbnail, if that doesn't hit, every other thing doesn't matter. Nothing else increases. So even though it's so tiny, it's 20%, but it leads to the 80% of the results you want. So that is why 100% of our efforts have to go into that 20% to make sure we get the most out of the 80% of the things we want, which is the views, the leads, the booked calls, the sales, the subscribers. So let's just say you are a business coach. You make a video called My Best Business Advice with a thumbnail that says advice for new entrepreneurs versus the one thing I wish I knew before starting my business. The second title makes someone feel something. It speaks to a real pain, but it creates curiosity. Add the thumbnail with your face looking surprised and a bold text that says I almost quit. Now you are packaging that pulls people in. So that one video could bring in thousands of new viewers and maybe a few new clients. So let's compare them side by side. You have a video that is My Best Business Advice for new entrepreneurs. This, I don't feel anything watching this. Is that okay? It's advice for new entrepreneurs. It's okay, it's cool. It's very descriptive. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. It's like, oh yeah, okay, cool video. But then you see a video that says, the one thing I wish I knew before starting my business, I almost quit. So when you see this is especially if you're a beginner, you're like, oh my god, I'm about to quit as well. Or maybe you're just starting out and you want to know, oh, what is this one thing that I need to know? Because I'm starting my business as well. I don't want to quit. And so that curiosity gap is increased. You've opened the curiosity loop, and now they have to close it by clicking on the video. So a lot of creators, you don't need more videos, you just need better packaging. One well-packaged video will outperform 10 average ones. So every hour you spend improving your title and thumbnail is multiplied. It keeps working long after you hit publish. So if you have one video that gets 10,000 views every month, that video is going to do so much more for your business than trying to reach out to 1,000 people every month for cold outreach. Because it's just an asset. It's an asset that continues bringing you leads, clients, subscribers, more people who find value in your work. So, and that is the leverage we want. That is why packaging is your 20%. Okay, so now you're like, okay, fine, Kola. So packaging matters more than almost anything else. Well, how do you actually get people to click? So that is where the psychology comes in, which takes me to my next point, the psychology of getting people to click. So now think about how you choose a movie on Netflix. You are not reading reviews, you are not checking ratings, you are scrolling, and maybe something catches your eye. Maybe it's the face that looks scared, maybe it's the bold colors, maybe the title says something that makes you think, wait, what happens? You do not decide to watch it with logic. You felt something, and that feeling made you click. This is how YouTube works too. People click with their feelings, then they justify with logic. So your packaging has one job, to make your audience feel something. For example, I'll give you, and so it starts with knowing your target audience. So I'll give you an example. This is a screenshot from my Amazon Prime. So as you can see, there's a couple of shows that Amazon Prime is suggesting for me to watch. But the probability that I'll pick of what I'll pick is probably be House of David. One, because I'm a Christian. Two, because I'm interested in biblical stories. So once I see this, I'm like, and I see a little boy with a slave shirt, I'm like, I'm curious already. So the probability I'm going to watch this is all these may be great shows, but I'm going to watch this because I'm a Christian and I want to see the live retelling of this Bible story. So I'll give you another example. Another thing I would watch is probably Diabolical. Why? Because it looks animated, and I love watching animated shows. I watch Invincible. I watch anime. So the probabilities that I check this out is also pretty high because it looks like anime. So, but I would probably wouldn't watch this because I don't really care about wolves and vampires. I'm sorry, I don't like it. This neither. I can't really tell what's going on. This as well, Sacred Level looks like a game. I'm not really a game guy. This looks too childish. So although it is animated, it doesn't have like the anime styles that would interest me. So this is where like knowing your target audience is very important because this feed now. You watching this video, you probably maybe you actually want to watch this because you like games, or you probably want to watch this because you like wolves and vampires, or you want to watch this because the animation style looks playful. Well, that would work for you. Someone else will probably want to watch this because this is Childish Gambino. He's a rapper, and if you know him, you're like, oh, I know this dude. So you'd be interested in watching a movie with him in it. So that is where the most important thing happens is you need to know your target audience because based on that is going to determine what they decide to watch. So before you make any thumbnail or title, you need to know one thing: who is watching. Not everyone, a specific person. What do they worry about at 2 a.m.? What do they dream about? What words do they use when they talk about their problems? Your packaging has to speak their language. If your audience is new moms, do not talk like a doctor, talk like a friend. If your audience is startup founders, if your audience is startup founders, do not use fluff, use numbers and results. The better you know your viewer, the easier it is to write the title they cannot ignore. So now let's look at the title plus thumbnail formula. The title and thumbnail should work together like a team. They should not repeat each other, they should add to each other. So the title creates curiosity or promises a result, which opens the loop that we want, and then the thumbnail shows the emotional context or visual hook. So now the look is open. But then maybe it hasn't reached the threshold for them to want to watch the video. So the thumbnail's goal is for them to reach that threshold that they have to click. So the loop is open, but it's halfway open. So the title's job is just to make it halfway open. The thumbnail opens it all the way. So now they're like, oh my gosh, we've crossed the threshold. So now they have to close it. And to close it, they have to click on the video. So I'll give an example. For example, I tried waking up 5 a.m. for 30 days. The thumbnail could be your face looking exhausted with text that says day 1 versus day 30. So the title makes you curious, but the thumbnail shows the contrast. Together, they are unstoppable. So you're curious, like, he tried waking up 5 a.m. for 30 days. Okay. And then you see day 1 versus day 30. And then the contrast is on day 1, he looks depressed, everything. And then on day 30, he looks active and like he's rich. I was like, did waking up 5 a.m. every day actually change his life? And so that question, you've opened that loop, that question now, the audience needs to answer it. So these are the triggers that make people click. Curiosity. So there's something a title like the Cyprian most people don't know about. The fear of missing out. This works really well. So stop making this mistake before it's too late. Oh my gosh, what mistake? Then desire for results. I made $10,000 in 90 days. If you're trying to make money, that is going to catch your attention. Relatability. I was broke, tired, and ready to quit. Then this happened. And so people who are in the same position with you will click on this video. So you have to pick one, make it honest, make it real. Clickbait lies. Strong packaging tells the truth in an exciting way. So you don't need to lie. You just need to find a way to tell the truth in an exciting way. When you understand your audience, you stop guessing. You know exactly what to say and how to say it. This is when packaging stops feeling hard. That is when packaging stops feeling hard. Sorry. That is when clicks start coming in naturally. Now you understand the psychology. Let us make this super practical. Here is a simple checklist you can use every single time before you publish a video. So this is the viral packaging checklist. So think of a pilot before takeoff. It doesn't matter how experienced they are, they always run through a checklist of this button, that button. Every single time they have to make sure everything is right. Not because they're about the flying, but because the checklist catches when what their brain is missing. So your packaging checklist works the same way. Run it before making every video. So this is the title checklist. Before you lock in your title, ask yourself these questions. Is it clear? Can a 12-year-old understand it in 2 seconds? Does it create curiosity, promise a result, or solve a problem? Is it specific? Numbers and details beat vague claims every time. Does it speak directly to your target viewer? Is it under 60 characters? Anything longer gets cut off in search. What would you click on this if you saw it scrolling? Now the thumbnail checklist. Now check your thumbnail against the list. Is there a clear focal point? One main thing the eye goes to first. Is there a human face with a strong emotion? Faces get attention. Is there text on the thumb? Is text on the thumbnail short? 3 to 5 words max. Is the font bold and readable on the small screen? Does it use high contrast colors? Bright pops, dollar appears. So the bright pops and the dollar appears. Does it work with the title? Does it tell a bigger story together? Would it stand out next to other videos in the same niche? So I have made a PDF doc of this checklist and a video scripting checklist too. If you want it, just click the second link in my description to get it. No email opt-in required. Just download it and have fun. So you do not have to be a designer. You do not have to be a master copywriter. You just have to use this checklist. It will catch the weak spots for you. And over time, you will not need it because the strong packaging will just become your second nature. So if you need help doing all this, click the first link in my description. I help clients grow their business on YouTube. And if you don't trust me enough yet, then fine. YouTube thinks you should watch this video next. Peace. Thank you for your time. I'll see you later.